Hello all my beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're in this enchanted space, please allow for me to introduce myself to you. My name is Vanessa and I am the proud author of 2 tarot decks and your favorite psychic here on YouTube. So today's pick a card reading video is going to be a really fun, juicy love reading. Because in today's predictions, we will be discussing who you'll end up marrying. And you guys know that as the unicorn mom, I did not come to play, which is why you get to receive 2 parts in order to create your own highly personalized prediction. Let me explain to you how this works. So in a few short moments during the intro of this video, you get to select one of these 4 groups in order to receive the first part of your reading. And then once you've received all of the information and details from part 1 of who you're going to end up marrying, what the relationship will be like, and who this person is, you then get to scroll down into the description box, click the timestamp that corresponds to your zodiac sign, and receive the second and even more personalized part of your reading. And because there's such a large amount of different combinations between groups and zodiac signs, you can rest assured that your reading is going to be as personal as it possibly can be. And if you're enjoying your readings and you've got some extra time on your hands, then feel free to check out your moon sign as well as your rising sign. You can literally put together a super personalized reading based on your birth chart right here on my channel. So that's it. You know exactly how you're going to figure out who you'll end up marrying. So now allow me to introduce you to the 4 groups. Group number 1 corresponds to the Sacred Forest Oracle deck, the Tiger's Eye Crystal, as well as the following sound. Group number 2 corresponds to the Sacred Sea Oracle deck, the Rose Quartz Crystal, as well as the following sound. Group number 3 corresponds to the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, the Amethyst Crystal, as well as the following sound. And group number 4 corresponds to the Star Temple Oracle deck, the Jade Crystal, as well as the following sound. The timestamps to all 4 of these groups can be found down below in the description box, and if you've had any issues whatsoever picking one of these groups intuitively, I highly recommend that you go to my website and download my free PDF, which explains to you how you can pick the right pile for yourself every single time, and tips on how to cleanse your crystals. So I will now provide you with a little moment of privacy where you can just meditate on the 4 groups, and then I'll be back with you in a second to guide you into your readings. So by now, you've hopefully been able to select from these 4 groups in order to receive the first part of your prediction. And make sure that you feel comfortable and at home as you're watching this video. Get yourself a little beverage of your choice and a little snack, because we will be vibing together and getting into lots of fun little details about who you'll end up marrying. And if you love the vibe of my channel and our beautiful community here on YouTube, make sure that you don't forget to subscribe to my channel in order to never miss another one of my healing and therapeutic videos where I channel messages from the divine straight to you. But now let's get into it. I will be starting off the readings with the first group, which corresponds to the Sacred Forest Oracle deck. So if this is the group that you chose, then please continue watching. And to all of my other beautiful groups as well as signs of the zodiac, I'll catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello group 1, and welcome to your reading. You chose the Sacred Forest Oracle deck in connectivity to the Tiger's Eye Crystal. Let's do a quick close-up on the crystal of your choice. This is the beautiful Tiger's Eye. I absolutely love how this glistens depending on where the light hits it. I definitely recommend that you wear Tiger's Eye crystal jewelry, as this is a type of jewelry that will help ground you and also kind of bring out your instinct a little more when it comes to understanding who is good for you romantically and who potentially isn't. We've got the Moonlight Enchantment straight up for you, which shows me that who you'll end up marrying will feel like it was meant to be. This will be a magical relationship and marriage, and it will definitely feel as though you're finally living your fairy tale, your dream life, romantically speaking, and there's nothing that you could wish for that this person does not have or bring to the relationship. Group 1 in the hummingbird spirit, we've got joy. It is abundantly clear that your marriage is going to not only be magical, but also a very happy one that is filled with joy and laughter and just overall having a good time with the person who you'll end up with. Furthermore, the hummingbird spirit does connect to the number 22, which is a very special number. It is a master number. If you keep seeing the number 2, group number 1, check out some of my videos on numerology where I explain to you exactly what that means. But overall, this master number is one that speaks of growing into yourself. So growing with your partner, with the person who you're going to end up marrying, and just overall being there for one another's steps forward rather than holding each other back. I see here within the Ace of Wands that you'll end up marrying someone who constantly comes up with new fun ideas for adventures, travel plans, but also business ideas. This is someone who isn't afraid to speak their mind when it comes to their ideas and what they think would work out well within your relationship. And I see here in the Four of Wands that you both have personalities that just really complement each other in the best possible way. The Suit of Wands also corresponds to the element of fire, which shows passion, and I can see here that any new ideas that your future partner has, they're going to be well received because you're kind of really on the same wavelength and you get one another. You come from very similar backgrounds. Even though some things in your childhood were completely different, you still understand each other in ways that are inexplicable. The Chariot shows me quick forward movement with the person who you'll end up marrying. So you're maybe going to tie the knot very quickly, group number 1, and the relationship is going to feel like a bit of a whirlwind, and it's always going to feel that way. So it's not like you're going to have this whirlwind relationship and get married super fast and then everything will just be settled and boring or mundane. I can definitely see here within the Chariot, the Four of Wands, and the Ace of Wands that is actually the pulse of your marriage and what keeps it alive. The fact that you're both spontaneous and adventurous in the same areas, and that just complements each other beautifully. The Queen of Wands shows me here that your person has strong fire sign energy. I mean, that's all we've had from the minor arcana within the tarot in your reading so far, group number 1. We've had the Ace of Wands, the Four of Wands, now the Queen of Wands. This shows me here that passionate Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries placements do make all the difference and do keep your marriage very spicy and alive. And the Queen of Wands is someone who knows that balance between being caring, but at the same time also being fun and outgoing and not too introverted or too caught up in their feelings. The Empress shows me here that the person who you'll end up marrying sees you as a queen, a god, a goddess, whoever you identify as, group number 1. You know, everyone's welcome to this party and to my channel. Know here within the Empress that they worship the ground that you walk upon. They are the type of person who can't get enough of you and is just simply obsessed with everything that you do and finds you attractive both internally as well as externally. The Judgment card shows me that they are not with it at all when people around you try to judge your accomplishments, your looks, or your life choices. Be it something as simple as how you choose to dress, what you choose to do professionally. They're not about that judgmental life, and they're going to try to protect you from literally anyone who tries to make you feel like you're not good enough or who tries to make you feel as though you don't have a place in this world. They're very protective over you. Next up, we've got the cosmic egg. So the cosmic egg, and kind of wrapping around this beautiful, colorful egg, is one thing that I can see here that represents your marriage. So think of you being the egg, right? Being something that is pretty delicate. They are wrapped around you and they will always be so protective over you. We've got these oval and round shapes, which shows me here that this person is really malleable. They're not protective in a way of being so inflexible flexible, that they constantly need to know what you're up to or what you're doing. They're just the right amount of protective. They're constantly trying to shield you from any type of outside influences that may dim your light or that may take away from your beautiful personality. So if you've ever been in a situation or in a meeting where you feel as though your creativity just gets zapped out of you when you're around people who are really judgmental or just have a very limited view of the world, that is something that can be super draining, and your future partner wants to protect you from that. And with the snake symbolizing who your partner is, they're the type of person who wants you to grow, who wants to see you flourish, and who, no matter the cost, wants to keep you safe from any energy vampires. Next up, we've got the unicorn. So your magical self is being embraced, group number one, especially if you've always been kind of different or your creativity makes you stand out a lot more than it allows you to fit in. I can totally relate to you, group number one. This is something that I'm so grateful for in my own relationship and my own marriage, that I can be the beautiful, sparkly little unicorn that I am. And I've got someone who's always supporting me and who always wants me to tap into my creativity and also see me succeed in my career and in my ventures. And I see the same thing for you, group number one, and someone who isn't afraid of change, as in you transforming as well as them transforming throughout the marriage. They don't want things to always stay the same. The dolphin is a representation of happiness and joy, so very similar to the hummingbird spirit, but still a bit different. The dolphin shows me here that who you'll end up marrying is someone who like spontaneity. They are rather outgoing, and they're the type of person who always wants to see the bright side, who always sees the light at the end of the tunnel, no matter what's going on, no matter what type of difficulties they're going through or you're going through in your marriage. As I see here within the oyster, that they also keep their lips firmly sealed. Any type of secrets that you have within your marriage with this person will stay within the marriage. They're not sharing your personal business with anybody. They are trustworthy, and the person who you'll end up marrying is also kind of protective about your marriage as a whole. So not just you, but the marriage and the magic within the marriage itself. We've got the stingray next up. They will defend themselves if they need to, and they will defend you, but they will do so verbally. They're not the type of person to get in a physical altercation. They are intelligent. They're the type of person who would rather use their brain power in order to set boundaries. They're not the type of person who will start using their fists in a situation where they're feeling uncomfortable or they feel as though you're being mistreated. That's not their style and not the type of person that they are. What do we have next for you? We've got the rabbit, group one. The rabbit is a symbol of, well, you guessed it, fertility, but also fun, and also being unafraid to add to your family. So this is someone with whom you can see yourself starting a family with. This is someone with whom you're going to start your own legacy, group number one. And this is a love story that I would say is not only magical, but aspirational. I see that the person who you'll end up marrying is someone who cares a lot, not just about you and the marriage and themselves, but also other people. They can care a lot about children or animals and extended family. I see here within the secret spring that success is assured with this marriage, particularly for you, group number one. Success is something that comes naturally when married to this person because you're both able to thrive, right? And you're not limiting each other or boxing one another in. And in the dragonfly spirit, I can see here that change is the constant, and change very quickly becomes the default mode of the relationship. So there will definitely be days during your marriage where you ask yourself if things couldn't be a bit more mundane or boring, where you crave to have a little bit more of a routine, but you will then very quickly remind yourself that the most interesting and fun part of your marriage is the fact that no day is the same and that you're with someone who is super flexible and always up to try something new and have a great time. Next up, we've got retrograde. Your marriage is going to allow you to reflect and review a lot. You will have a lot of discussions about what you can do better. So if financially speaking, you made some mistakes with your partner, you didn't put enough money aside to pay your taxes, you maybe didn't have a big enough of a rainy day fund to pay for if something happens to your car or your house needs any upgrades. I mean, you get the story. Group number one, I see within retrograde that whenever you are in a difficult situation, you take it on the chin and you learn from it. You review how you could do things better next time. I see here within Chiron that you're all about healing, and in your marriage, you try to limit the amount of repetition when it comes to mistakes because you both are very mature at this point. You're not going to get married to this person super early in your life, so this could be a second marriage or just one that comes a lot later as you've both kind of developed in a sense of knowing who you are, and you don't need that other person to give you confidence. You already are coming with a lot of confidence into the marriage, which is also responsible for a lot of the joy and really great vibes we have going on here. The North Node again reiterates that this is a marriage that's happening in the future. This is a marriage that's not happening just around the corner. Who you'll end up marrying, the person who we're speaking about here within your reading, group number one, is someone who you may meet sooner rather than later, but the marriage isn't going to happen or be solidified till quite a bit later. So think a few years. And I hope that you can appreciate my honesty, group number one, because I would never want to just say what everyone wants to hear. And for you, marriage is something that needs a little bit more time to develop. So last but not least, we've got Leo for you, all of my beautiful souls of group one. We have their zodiac sign revealed to you. I can see here within Leo that they have very strong Leo placements within their birth chart. I may reveal some more placements throughout the second part of your reading, and there will definitely be a lot more details as to who this person is, who you'll end up marrying. So make sure that you now scroll down into the description box, click your zodiac sign so you can be fast forwarded to the second part of your prediction where we go into more detail about who you'll end up marrying and what your love life with this person is going to be like. So group one, thank you for being here, and I'll catch you during part two of your prediction. Hello, group number two, and welcome to your reading about who you'll end up marrying. You chose the Sacred Sea Oracle deck, as well as the Rose Quartz Crystal, which is the stone of love, friendship, affection, and compassion. You may have chosen this crystal because of all of these beautiful qualities that drew you to actually select this crystal, or maybe you simply loved its baby pink appearance. Either way, let's move into your reading to figure out exactly who you'll end up marrying and what this marriage is going to be like. So first up, we've got the Botanical Sea Temple. What this means is that your marriage is going to be full of opportunities. You're going to marry someone who is well connected, who has a great social status, and they're the type of person who knows everyone. So in their community, they're well established, people like them, they're a super well-liked member of their community, which means that they definitely have good social skills. They're a pretty charming person, and the Botanical Sea Temple shows me that due to this, your marriage is filled with different opportunities, be it starting a business or just overall growing professionally speaking, because your person has those contacts. I see here within the Sacred Serpent Spirit that when it comes to DNA activation, this is something you're thinking of with your person. DNA activation can entail having your own family, your own children, and you of course do not have to limit yourself to children who simply only hold your DNA. biologically speaking. It's just overall a situation here where you and the person who you're married to want to further their lineage and you want to build your own little family legacy. I see here within the octopus spirit that the person who you'll end up marrying is very ingenuitive, so whether children are something that can happen naturally or not, you will find a way in order to make your family what you've always wanted it to be. And furthermore, because there are so many opportunities here, don't worry about the fine print or the little details about how you will be able to afford to move into your dream home, to have children, to travel the world with the person who you'll end up marrying. Do know here that they will have it all figured out because they're super creative and they always find a way to make things work, especially when they know that those things are important to you. So next up, group 2, we've got the heart chakra gateway, which shows me that this is someone who is fully capable of love. They are an emotionally available individual, and they're the type of person who would do anything to put a smile on your face, just as you would do for them. And group number 2, if you've been done dirty in your love life, if you have given your all to people and relationships where those people maybe didn't even have the decency to call you back or text you back or even put a tenth of the effort into the connection that you put in, do know here that the person you'll end up marrying is not going to be like that whatsoever. There's going to be reciprocity here. If anything, they are going to try to do more for you than you are doing for them, because they're definitely a very giving person, and they're the type of person who, once you've got their heart chakra open, they just simply want to see you happy, and they want to do anything in their power in order to make that possible. Next up, we've got the 8 of Cups. I see that who you'll end up marrying is someone who has just walked away from a relationship that they already knew was doomed. You may have to walk away from a relationship as well. So you'll just be in the stages of wrapping up a connection that just wasn't meant to be for you when you meet this person and when you actually have them come into your life. And I see here within the sun that they're going to be like the bearer of good news. They're going to bring the sun into your life, warmth, love, just overall a feeling that reminds you that you matter. So you're definitely going to see a stark contrast between some people who you've dated in the past and this person who you'll end up marrying. But after all, group 2, there is good reason why you're marrying this person and not another one. The 5 of Wands shows me here that rejection is something that you've experienced, and rejection is something that you definitely don't want to go through again. And through being with this person who you'll end up marrying, it's really nice for you for a change to know exactly where they stand and to not feel as though they're playing games. Because I see in the 5 of Wands and the heart chakra gateway that you are definitely a little bit defensive at the beginning. When you meet this person, it seems too good to be true, but once you've kind of let your guard down, you can relax and you know that you're in safe hands, or shall I say your heart is in safe hands. The Knight of Pentacles shows me some earth sign energy here. It shows me why this person is so business savvy. The Knight of Pentacles represents someone who is good with money, who is good with earthly opportunities and abundance, and also knows how important it is to be physically and mentally healthy in order to be able to perform, and in order to be able to also let their charming nature make those connections in the community that can serve them in the long run, because they always have someone to call no matter what they need, whether it's a great contact for a doctor, whether it's a contact when it comes to a job opportunity for you. They have friends, they know who to call, they've got opportunities on tap. Next up, we've got the King of Swords. The King of Swords shows me a quality here in the person who you're going to marry that a lot of people fear, and this is definitely something that you on one hand appreciate, and on the other hand can sometimes be a point of friction within the marriage. Now, this quality is all about how direct that your person is. They are very intelligent and eloquent, and they know how to communicate effectively, But the person who you'll end up marrying, group number 2, can also be so direct that it ends up hurting people's feelings. And when you need a opinion, you're sometimes a little bit butthurt at first when they tell you the truth, like when they tell you that they don't like an outfit or a business idea, or they don't want to travel to this place in particular, and they're kind of not sugarcoating it. You will first be a little butthurt, but I definitely see an appreciation for the fact that they are real, they don't sugarcoat things, and they're honest and upfront. Rather than being with someone who is constantly playing games, you prefer this type of person. The King of Pentacles shows me here that aside from coming off as someone who is business savvy but still playful, deep down the person who you'll end up marrying is someone who actually is all about getting figures right, financially speaking, and making as much as they possibly can with the efforts that they're putting in. The King of Pentacles shows me here someone who puts up contracts that serves them, someone who reads the fine print, someone who is lawyered up, someone who understands exactly what type of business moves they need to pull in order to create a life that they desire. And they're definitely not afraid to be cutthroat when it comes to business, despite people who are friends with them not knowing this. But they're most likely someone who has their own business, who owns their own firm, and their employees know not to cross them and not to play with them. Next up, we've got the 9th house. The 9th house shows me here that the person who you'll end up marrying is someone with whom you're going to explore the world, you're going to explore your surroundings, and also faraway countries and different cultures. I definitely see with the King of Pentacles and the 9th house that you will be traveling in style. You will be able to not worry about how much these things cost and just be able to enjoy the experience. I see here within debilitated that there is some discomfort when it comes to this person and their trust, financially speaking. This is something that will have to be earned. So when you meet the person who you'll end up marrying, group number 2, they may first play it like they're not doing as well as they really are doing, financially speaking. They may act like they're a little less fortunate than they really are. They may pretend like they're not from a background that is affluent, like they haven't done all that much. They will be overly humble just in order to ensure that your intentions are where they need to be in order for this relationship to be based on love and mutual adoration rather than material things. So that is kind of like a little protective mechanism that they've got or they've established. I see here within the 1st house that how they present themselves to the world, the person who you'll end up marrying, that's really important to them. So they want you to dress elegantly when you go places together. They want you to be presentable. While they love you for who you are, they're definitely someone who cares about image, and rightfully so, because in order to have this standpoint in their community to be well respected and for people to look up to them and trust them, they of course need to dress a certain way. I hate to say it, group number 2, but appearances really do matter. Next up, we've got the 4th house. I see within the 4th house that keeping the home in an immaculate condition is one of the most important things to the person who you'll end up marrying. The home is like the hub of love, the hub of where you're doing things together that really allow you to bond. And for them, one of the most important things is that your home is tidy, that it's clean, that you've got beautiful furniture, and that it's overall representative of who you are as a couple and representative of the marriage. And this is a point of tension that you might have in the relationship where it's all about figuring out who's going to clean what, who's going to take over which chores. And if you're someone who is a little bit more messy, you will definitely find yourself in a situation where you're confronted by their orderliness and their cleanliness. But if you're already someone who is super organized, super clean, then you will love this. You'll feel right at home with this person. Next up, we've got the Hawk. So the person who you'll end up marrying is a very watchful, observant type of person. They're going to pay close attention to detail when it comes to the things that you love and in connectivity to the 4th house and your home. If you, for example, really love lilies, I really love lilies, group number 2, they will purchase lilies for you. If you really love red roses, that is something they'll surprise you with. They pay a lot of attention to detail, and the cosmic egg here shows me that they are trying to build something for the future with you, and stability is very important to them, especially financial stability and protecting everything that you've worked so hard for. They also want to protect their own assets, so don't be surprised if they are talking about signing a prenup before you get married to them. As the deer shows me here, that you will kind of be caught off guard when it comes to the agreement that's going to be in place when it comes to the marriage. But this is something that you have to keep in mind is not necessarily because they don't trust you, group number 2, but there is some wealth there that they want to ensure stays within the marriage and that nothing ever changes. And they're the type of person who overall is very giving, but at the same time, they've worked really hard for their assets and they are trying to be very careful moving forward. So the Nightingale shows me that they'll be pretty outspoken about what they expect from you. They'll be pretty outspoken about where their assets lie and why they want to ensure that you have prenups, that you have agreements, that you have signed things. And for them, it's all about being able to rest assured that no matter what happens in the marriage, no matter what may happen down the line, that things are fairly and evenly distributed and that you won't end up spending a lot of money on divorce lawyers and things like that should anything ever happen to this marriage. So they like to think ahead and they like to put contracts in place because they know that no matter how much love there may be right now, once you're in a place where you're splitting up, you're maybe not in a place where you can even talk to each other, where you can even negotiate. So it's better to just set everything up now when people are on good terms. And you may feel the same way, group number 2, but this is all about who you'll end up marrying and the type of person that they are. And this is the information that we are receiving. So you may agree with it, you may not, but either way, you're getting married to this person. I can see here within the star that popped right out of the pile. I'll put a little instant replay right here in case you didn't see that this marriage is one that gives you a lot of hope for the future, that makes you feel like you're on the right path and that just overall honors who you are. The moon shows me that you intuitively know that this is the right person. You intuitively know that because this person makes you laugh so hard and is constantly able to understand you without you having to even say a word, that this is the right person for you to be with at this point in time, and that when things just feel this right, it is completely okay for you to let your guard down and speak very openly about everything, whether it be prenups, whether it be travel plans, whether it be what plans that you have professionally speaking for your future, because they want to support you and they want to be smart about it. So group number 2, this is the first part of your prediction that I've received for you. In order to receive more details, scroll down into the description box, click your zodiac sign, and you'll be fast forwarded to part 2 of your reading where we figure out even more about who you'll end up marrying. So I'll catch you during part 2 of your prediction. Hello group number 3, and welcome to your reading about who you'll end up marrying. You chose the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck in connectivity to the Amethyst crystal. Now you may have felt drawn to this beautiful crystal because of its appearance, but maybe also because this is a crystal that resonates with bringing out your psychic abilities and powers, with strengthening your intuition, and that may be exactly what you need and why you chose this crystal. But let's move into your reading, shall we? We've got softly, softly, the tender touch. I see that the person who you'll end up marrying is someone who has a very tender and soft personality. They're the type of person whom you can confide in, someone who takes their responsibility as a husband, wife, or just partner very seriously, group number 3. And they are someone who is very in tune with their emotion. We also have that represented within the Amethyst and them just being connected to their inner workings and inner world. Next up, we've got shock of the new. This is someone who you don't know. This person is currently not in your life, group number 3. So the person you'll end up marrying is a completely new person. They're not someone who you've ever met before. So this is definitely going to rock your world a little bit. I can see within Against the Grain that your relationship and your marriage is going to be one that kind of goes against tradition, that goes against what everyone else in your family may have done. So there may be religious constraints. Maybe your family does not want you to be with a certain type of person, or your community just overall doesn't embrace the type of marriage that you'll be in. But I can definitely see here within Against the Grain and Shock of the New that you are inspiring a lot of people with this marriage to be kind to themselves, to be very tender to who they are, and to not believe what anyone else says. So your marriage is definitely going to be very eclectic and fun, but still have a very tender, loving nature to it. And despite what other people say, you're going to marry this person because it just works for you. And even if your marriage is unconventional, think, for example, you making a lot of money if you identify as female, and your partner who identifies as male, or maybe also female, or whoever they'd like to identify as, stays at home. That is a very unconventional type of way for a marriage to be. So that is what I mean with Against the Grain and Shock of the New as well. Not only is the person who you'll end up marrying a completely new person in your environment, but the people around you, your friends and family, none of them have ever seen such a dynamic before. So you're definitely going to be like the pioneer of living out this type of marriage. I see here within Focus on the Light that is what you're most focused on, feeling good about yourself, feeling good in your skin, and being with someone who loves you for who you are, not what you give them, not what you bring to their life, not what you do for appearances. Someone who truly does love you for you, group number 3. And that is where I can see in Softly, Softly, the tender touch, as well as Focusing on the Light, that your marriage is just filled with so much aspirational type of energy that there will definitely be some people who are jealous about this and who will use the fact that your marriage is unconventional or different in order to excuse their jealousy. But we know better, group number 3. Next up, we've got the Cosmic Egg. In the Cosmic Egg, I can see here that your marriage is well protected, though, because the person who you'll end up marrying is someone who has always kind of stood out from the crowd and been different. So think of marrying someone who comes from maybe a very wealthy or not wealthy at all background, and that's where your worlds kind of collide. Either way, they know how to protect themselves physically from harm. They know how to protect their assets. They're just overall a very smart person who knows that because your marriage is very different, this is definitely something that can make you a bit of a target for some people, where I see here within the Fish that you are intuitively going to choose whom you're friends with when you're married. And some people, some friends or family members who don't approve, you're going to have to get rid of them. And you're doing so, group number 3. You don't want anyone around you who isn't supportive of how you choose to live your life. And you don't want anyone around you who does not want to embrace the fact that not everybody is going to have that marriage where they live in a suburb with a white picket fence and you have these traditional gender roles throughout the marriage. That is just not for everyone, and you're embracing what brings you joy. That's what I see in the Hummingbird. You're embracing what feels good for you. The person who you're going to marry is someone who is fun, witty, and lively. They like to make you the center of attention, so they like to stay more in the background and allow for you to talk, as I see here within the oyster, that they have a bit of a hard exterior, but a soft inside, a very soft, squishy inside. We spoke about that within them being so tender and caring and kind, and because they've been through so much in life, they definitely are very careful when it comes to guarding their heart and guarding their emotions. So they don't trust just about anybody. Next up, we've got the sacred fish spirit. That goes together beautifully with the fish that we already received for you. But do know here that your marriage is actually very simple and straightforward. So despite what it may look like on the outside, group number 3, and I hope you can appreciate my honesty throughout this reading, I am the type of reader who will tell you very bluntly what I see and what messages we're receiving within the cards. I will never sugarcoat anything or make it to sound like what everyone wants to hear. So the sacred fish spirit shows me that despite what things may look like to other people, your marriage is super simple and easy and straightforward. When someone wants to do something, be it travel, be it start a new hobby, or discuss the next steps in the relationship, you do that, you find common ground, and then you execute. You won't be in a marriage where there are many arguments, many disagreements, or a lot of hurt feelings at all. It's filled with simplicity is what I see here. Next, we've got the sea goddess of abundance, which shows me here that your marriage celebrates the plenty that you have. So your marriage is most likely going to put you in a spot where you're better off economically and health-wise than a lot of people surrounding you, which hence why some people may be a little bit jealous. And I do see here in the sea goddess of abundance that because you're celebrating it and because you are not afraid to say that actually your life and your marriage is amazing, there are definitely some people who wish that they had the same. And I see within you focusing on the light as well, that this is a big reason why your marriage is going to be such a success, because you focus on the light, you focus on keeping things simple. You're not about those petty fights and disagreements over who needs to do the dishes or who needs to take the dog out or who needs to be the one bringing home the money or paying the bills. I see here in the sea goddess of momentum that you're consistently communicating in your marriage. The person who you'll end up marrying is a great communicator, and the spoken word and reassuring one another, words of affirmation, this is a big part of the love language that is within your future marriage. And I definitely want you to know that this is the key to why everything simply works like a well-oiled machine. Then we've got the shark spirit, which shows me here that your marriage gives you a way clearer perspective on things than you ever thought possible. It also connects to the number 33, which is a master number. This is said to be the number of a great teacher. So your marriage is actually going to teach you so much about mental health, kindness, but also trauma. I see within the shark spirit that being married to this person who we're talking about, and we'll get into more detail about who this person is during part 2 of your reading, which is based on your zodiac sign, so make sure you stay tuned for that, group number 3. But a big part of this marriage is going to open your eyes to trauma or to wrongdoings from your past and childhood that nobody ever apologized for and that everyone kind of just normalized. So if you grew up in a family where, for example, gaslighting, emotional neglect, abuse, or blackmail was the norm or was accepted, or there was like a member of the family who was seemingly allowed to do that to others without any repercussions, I see that your marriage is going to change your point of view when it comes to that and really open your mind to the fact that you're a survivor and you've been through more than you give yourself credit for. The solar calm shows me that this clarification is actually going to lead to you being a lot calmer as a person. So if you have inexplicable waves of anxiety that you sometimes need to deal with, group number 3, because all of a sudden you go from 0 to 100 real quick, or you have some anger management issues at times, this is going to explain to you exactly why. And because you're getting closure You're able to find more ways to become calm, mature, and not allow for other people to affect you emotionally speaking. The midheaven shows me here that your marriage is going to be like the pinnacle of your life and your existence because you're with someone who really understands you. And marriage can be something that is aspirational in the sense of fitting a societal norm or just having that picture perfect life. But for you, marriage is so much more than appearances. It's so much deeper. And that's where your marriage will differ from a lot of other marriages, because you wouldn't care if your partner identified as someone else. You wouldn't care if your partner looked completely different tomorrow, because you really love the person you're married to for who they are on the inside. Anything on an external level doesn't matter to you. And this marriage is actually giving you so much more clarity about what love is and allowing for you to be so much more compassionate to other people's relationships as well, because you know what it's like to be married to someone regardless of what they look like, what their gender is. Like, you would love them no matter what shape or form they came in. The Princess of Pentacles shows me that you'll be starting from the bottom together when it comes to finances. So you just switching jobs or them just starting a new firm or company, that's what I see here when it comes to who you'll be married to. So you'll be learning a lot about business and how to be financially intelligent and all of those things together. It will be teamwork and a team effort. The Three of Cups shows me here that rather than seeing it as a difficulty, you're actually celebrating all these experiences that are unique to your marriage and that you'll be able to have with this person. And next up in the Two of Pentacles, I see here that it's really important for you to keep a good balance between work and your personal life and love, because whenever one thing topples over or tips the scale a little too much, that is what causes any rifts or friction in your marriage. Group number 3. So beware of that, as you've already received it in your reading. That's something that you can kind of take a mental note of and think about later on. Make sure that you never allow for a relationship to be too one-sided, and that there's always space for romance as well as space for discussing real life issues and financial planning and so on. And by the way, group number 3, leave a little shark emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that this is the group that you chose. Furthermore, we've got the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is obviously easy on the eyes. The King of Wands represents a fire sign, someone with very masculine energy. They don't have to be a fire sign, but they most likely have strong fire sign placements in their chart. And the King of Wands is someone who is mature. They're most likely older than you, maybe by quite a bit, and they're unafraid to speak their mind and also try new things. They're a bit of a daredevil. They love adventure. They've most likely traveled lots of parts of the world. And I see here within the Two of Cups that your relationship is so deep and pure with this person. This is someone who respects you and loves you for who you are. As the Two of Cups is one of the quote-unquote best cards of the tarot when it comes to the subject of love and marriage. So you're meant to be with this person. They're your twin flame. They're your soulmate. The Hanged Man does also show me here that this is going to be a very long-lasting marriage. Now, this video is all about who you'll end up marrying, but the length of the marriage, we haven't gotten into that just yet, group number 3, but the Hanged Man shows me here that this is a marriage that is meant to last for a long time. This is a marriage where you're going to rest for years, decades, a lifetime. As I do want you to know here that because communication is so strong and things work so effortlessly because you have the same goals, there really isn't any reason for this marriage to fail or for there to be any splitting up, especially because you're already kind of focused on one another in the marriage, because your marriage is unconventional and you're not afraid to be different. That already makes you have to kind of count on one another rather than your community or family and friends for constant support. You have each other for that. You don't rely on others for it. Like, if it's there, great, you'll take it. but you also know what it's like when support is something that you don't have an abundance of, or when you feel really different in the community. So I do want you to know here, group number 3, that this is a marriage that has the potential to last for your entire existence here on Earth and of course beyond. So we're going to move into part 2 of your reading now. All you need to do is scroll back down into the description box, click your timestamp, and you'll be fast forwarded to the second and even more personalized part of your prediction, group number 3. So I'll catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading about who you'll end up marrying. You chose the Star Temple Oracle deck as well as the Jade crystal. Let's do a little close-up on the crystal of your choice. This is the beautiful jade. You may have chosen this stone due to its external appearance, but maybe also because of its vibrations that bring abundance as well as prosperity into your life, especially in a lot of Eastern philosophies. We've got the jade that is a crystal of earthly abundance. Ooh, okay. We've got the gateways of light, and I can see a lot of love and sensuality here. This card popped right out of the pile. I'll put a little replay right here in case you missed that, group number 4. But do know here that this shows that the most attractive thing in your marriage is the mind of the other person, and they feel the same way about you. So while you may have a really great physical chemistry as well, what is really a turn on is how that person thinks, how they behave, how intelligent that they are, and just overall how they communicate with you. Next up, we've got the star daughters. So I want you to know here that an important part of your life will always be sisters, will always be divine feminine energy. So relationships with people who you would define as your sisters, also motherly figures, I can definitely see here that dancing, having fun, feeling free will always be a part of your life. And just because you're married doesn't mean that you won't have time for these sacred connections. Furthermore, the person who you'll end up marrying is most likely going to draw feminine energy into this world with you. So if you do end up having children, adopting, whether it be a human baby, a little fur baby, do know here that the divine feminine energy is what your relationship is really drawing in. Next up, we've got the medicine woman. I can see that the person who you'll end up marrying is a healer. They are someone who works most likely in a field of taking care of others. They may be a doctor, a nurse, overall a medical practitioner, a psychologist, the type of person who is here fulfilling their highest purpose, doing something that helps other human beings. I see here within the mystic that there's definitely a little bit of magic to their job and their profession, and I can see that they always bring the fact that they're very open-minded into any venture that they're involved in. So even if they are a doctor and they had to learn a pretty conservative type of way of healing and taking care of other people, they know how important it is for your mind to be in alignment with the type of results that you want. So therefore, they'll always bring a little bit of magic, the supernatural, into their practices by, for example, telling their patients that for optimal recovery after an operation, your mindset and where you are mentally is important. And they will definitely recommend that people go and seek out therapy and take care of themselves in more ways than just taking vitamins and going for checkups. Next up, we've got the priestess. I can see here that you are the embodiment of the priestess for the person who you'll end up marrying. You're the embodiment of divine feminine, of the one who is receptive, the one who listens, takes in, and also nurtures. And the person who you'll end up marrying has a lot of phallic energy. They bring a lot of masculine energy to the table, but that does not need to define you as female and them as male. This is just all about the type of energy and the type of dynamic that you have in the relationship. The lapis lazuli star shows me here that your romantic relationships are going to guide you to your higher purpose, especially your marriage. You're going to be inspired by the person who you'll end up marrying because they are so in their purpose and in what they were brought to this planet to do that you want to embody the same. You want to also follow not only your passions but your purpose, and to allow for that to be your full-time job. So being with this person might actually even inspire you to leave a job or to start studying something on the side that you're more interested in than what you were doing at the time of you first meeting your future spouse. The Tower shows me that you're completely rebuilding, and the person who you'll end up marrying is someone who has built themselves from the ground up. They had no help from anyone. They are self-made, and they know how hard it is to do something without anyone's help, be it financially or emotionally. And the Tower shows me here that who you'll end up marrying is someone with whom you're going to, again, build from the ground up and most likely be rebuilding your career, as they have already figured out their career and you want to be on that same wavelength and in the same place of being excited every single day when you get to work. So optimizing your career is a big one. The Four of Swords here shows me that you're definitely afraid of losing this person. I see that fear and some control issues are a part of who you'll end up marrying, and also because you know that no matter what someone else may look like, to you, what is so invaluable is who they are on the inside and how they make you feel. They turn you on so much mentally, and that's what you appreciate the most, and you never want to lose. Group number 4. Let's move further into your reading. We've got the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords shows me here that hurt is something that you're praying to avoid and to not happen to you. We see that here in the Four of Swords and the Three of Swords. So I already mentioned to you that hurt, control issues, being afraid of ending up alone and things falling apart, that is part of what's going to be kind of plaguing you, and it's important that you don't suffer in silence. Group number 4. And I hope that you can appreciate my honesty here in your reading, and that I'm pointing out things to you that are not just all roses and rainbows, but also some challenges. And the main way how you can overcome this is by communicating and not just holding it within, because I definitely see here within the Priestess that you're the type of person who is great at keeping their mouth shut. Maybe that's something that you learned from being a kid, and your emotions and feelings maybe never getting the time of day or being validated, just overall feeling unheard. So you're not sure whether the person who you'll end up marrying is actually going to want to listen to what you have to say, but they do want to listen. Group number 4, which is why it's so important for you to say how you feel if you want for anything to work out, and to not be in this vicious cycle of keeping difficult emotions to yourself. I see here within the Knight of Pentacles that the best thing that you can do is open up about what you're going through, and they will encourage you to go with them together to a professional, to a psychologist, to a counselor, to speak to someone, to invest time in all of your fears that you have, and to allow for you to rest assured that your relationship is stable, that it's not going anywhere, and that you can also kind of lead a life that is free of debilitating anxiety or any type of other things that you're struggling with. Be it depression, be it an eating disorder, they are here for you, but it's important that you communicate that, otherwise they won't understand and they won't know how to help. Next up, on a lighter note, we've got the Sea Goddess of Sensuality. So group 4, this is a card that shows me that you're celebrating romance with the person who you'll end up marrying. This relationship is one that's not only going to be really romantic, but also super sensual, and that's where you bond. So it all starts in your minds. They already turn you on a mental level, and then physically, when you add that part into it, it's like a little explosion of passion. So do know here within the Akashic Gaia Gateway that you're able to deepen your self-knowledge through this relationship, and deepen the knowledge of your body and understanding your body, what turns you on, what works well for you, and what doesn't. You're able to do some exploration of your physical body senses and the things that really get your motor going. Group 4. 4, if you know what I mean. And this person is someone with whom you feel very comfortable sharing what you like and the things that are maybe a bit more challenging for you. Furthermore, group number 4, we've got the number 4 that shows up quite a few times within your reading. We've got the number 4 within the Akashic Gaia Gateway, 24 in the Sea Goddess of Sensuality. We've got the number 4 in the 4 of Swords, as well as 42 in the Gateways of Light. So pay close attention to this number. This is most likely a symbol of your person being available and near. So if you continuously see the number 4 or synchronicities with 4, such as 444, definitely know here that you're on the right path to who you'll end up marrying. If you want a deeper explanation of numerology and these numbers specifically, I do have videos for this on my channel, so feel free to check that out. Next up, we've got the Coral Reef Sea Queen. So I can see that this person who you'll end up marrying is very environmentally aware. They are most likely either plant-based or they just spend a lot of time trying to minimize their footprint on this planet. They try to minimize the waste that they produce. Maybe they even own an electric or hybrid car, and they're just overall really conscious of simply being a guest on Mother Earth and not owning it and being able to walk all over it or just do as they please. Taking care of Mother Earth is important to the person you'll end up marrying. I see here within the Rainbow Light Temple that this is something that you bond over. You two are quite passionate about the environment and about creating as little of an environmental impact as you possibly can, group 4, and being with someone who just gets you in that sense, who is also about minimalism when it comes to your impact on the environment and studying, learning, because we don't get taught these things in school. That is a great way for you to bond and to have some really great discussions. That's part of the turn on with this person, that they're so intelligent. The second house shows me that your resources and your finances are a big part of what works within your marriage, because you have learned one another's triggers. You've done work individually as well, so your person knows exactly what they're triggered by when it comes to the material realm. You too know what is kind of tempting to you. That may be a sale on clothing, it may have been fast fashion, it may have been purchasing things you don't really need, or maybe even purchasing a lot of things even though they're environmentally conscious, but then it kind of adds up and it defeats the purpose. So whatever it is that is your little trigger and your little temptation, I see that you help one another stay out of trouble with that and retain as much money as possible. Next up, we've got the trine or sextile. In the trine/sextile, I can see symbiosis and taking care of one another. So you know what their triggers are and you ensure that you don't put them in a situation where they're triggered. Like, for example, if your person is triggered by drama or by people lying, you will not introduce him to a friend or a family member that is dramatic. And if you are triggered by certain behaviors that can cause depression, or different types of trigger foods and elements in your life, they will try to keep you as far away from it as possible. If you scroll through TikTok or Instagram or YouTube and the shorts always make you feel worse about yourself after you're done with it than when you begun. So once you log off, you always feel kind of like inadequate or like you're not good enough. They're the type of person who will stop you from like endlessly scrolling through your feed, just feeling worse and even more energetically depleted with every single thing that you watch. They're looking out for you, group number 4. That's the type of marriage you'll be in. Next up, we've got the dragonfly, which shows me that they are the type of person who doesn't take up a lot of space in a room. They're the type of human being who others don't really notice as much. They can be very incognito when they need to be. So on an external level, they're not the type of person who stands out in their community like a sore thumb. I see here within the earthworm that they're considered a really important part of their community, so they try to blend in as much as possible. This also moves together beautifully with what we spoke about their profession, them being, for example, a doctor or a nurse, a clinical psychiatrist. I can definitely see within the earthworm and the dragonfly that they are trying to ensure that they can do their job without people saying anything about their appearance, so they like to keep things really simple, especially when they're working. The eagle shows me that they're a very goal-oriented person. Once they're invested in a goal or they want to accomplish something, they will go for it with everything that they've got. And them being in a profession where they had to go to school and university for so many years, and they've possibly even amassed a lot of debt because of that, and they're still repaying it, and it's just overall been a big commitment. That shows what type of person that they are. They're all about that delayed gratification. And the moth here shows me that they always want to try to make the best of the current situation without doing something that may harm them in the long run. So while it may have been easier and quicker to jump straight into a profession or a job, say after high school or even skip high school, just as an example, group number 4, they don't want that type of short-term gratification. They want to live their life on one hand, but on the same hand also find the balance to where they're putting in enough focus and effort to get a degree or save money for a down payment for a house or an investment property for stocks, and kind of have that perfect distance from the light where they can enjoy the light, like the moth, right? Where they can enjoy the light being there, the warmth, the existence of it, but they never get so close to the light that they get burnt. That's the type of person who you'll end up marrying. But this is just part 1 of your prediction, group number 4. Make sure you now scroll down into the description box, click your zodiac sign, so you'll be fast forwarded to part 2 of who you'll marry, which will be even more detailed and even more personalized. So I'll catch you over during part 2 of your prediction. Hello, all my beautiful, adventurous, and fun Aries babies. Welcome to the second part of this who you'll end up marrying prediction that is based on your zodiac sign. So let's get into it. Lean back, relax, and enjoy the second, even more personalized part of your prediction. So first up, we've got the Princess of Pentacles, the Temperance card, as well as the 5 of Cups. So we've got a very interesting situation here with the Princess of Pentacles, the Temperance card, and the 5 of Cups. Because I can see here that you were really close to being with this person, but just at the last moment, it did not end up working out with the Princess of Pentacles. So this person has really strong earth sign energy. Think Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. They are kind of younger than you, either biologically or mentally, so they're not as mature as you are. And I can see here in the Temperance card that they wanted to be with you. They wanted to pop the question. They wanted to end up marrying you, but they actually ended up getting cold feet, getting too scared of the commitment. And the 5 of Cups here shows me that they feel really let down by who you'll end up marrying, because it's not them, my beautiful Aries babies. So this is a really interesting, juicy situation that we have here. We've got the Daffodil Fairy, which shows me that afterwards you're able to have these new beginnings in your love life. So who you'll end up marrying is, as already mentioned, not the Princess of Pentacles. And please don't feel as though Princess of Pentacles means that this person has to identify as a young female. That's just the type of energy they're giving off, young earth sign energy. But as already mentioned, this is not who you'll be with. You're going to be with someone with whom you can have these new beginnings with. I see within the Enchanted Fern Grotto that this is the type of person who knows what they want. So you're not going to be with someone who's going to get cold feet at the altar or just be unsure about solidifying the relationship, because that's a situation you were in with the Princess of Pentacles. They were too shy. They were too unsure of the entire relationship and maybe just not mature enough for it. And I can see here within the Fire Spirit that you're moving on to someone who is ready to put all of their energy and all of their effort and commitment into a marriage with you. So anyone who is unsure is not who you'll end up marrying, my beautiful Aries babies. You're meant to be with someone who has fiery, passionate energy just as you do, and who isn't afraid to actually make that commitment. Let's see when you'll get married to this person. We've got September. So this is the month during which you will get married, my beautiful Aries babies. I definitely also do want to pull some letters out of your person's name. So we've got O as well as Y. These are some very distinct letters that we have here for you. I'll put them right here under the month of September. Let's just add a little bit more information for you so you can figure out more about who you'll end up marrying. We've got the Lost Star. So in the Lost Star and Electra, I can see here that this is someone who has come from a really dark place and dark past, picked themselves up and been able to become this person you've always dreamt of being with, all my beautiful Aries babies. And I see here within the Lost Star that they're definitely someone who has been through the ringer at an earlier stage in their life and who has had to grow up very quickly. So that's why you're most likely also not meant to be with someone who is immature. I see here within the Amazon Queen that they are the type of person who isn't afraid to go up to bat for you, to ensure that they tell other people to keep their distance. Again, they're very protective. You may have heard this within an earlier portion of your reading. If so, then definitely know that this person kind of represents the Amazon Queen in the sense of being very devoted and being the type of person who will work through difficulties in the marriage rather than wanting a divorce or wanting to go out and date again. They're the type of person who would rather work through difficulties than call it quits. Next up, we've got the big, bold vision. So your marriage is going to start with a bang. Your wedding is definitely going to be really big. It's going to be one that is more bold than you expected it to be. And your person is most likely bringing a lot of family and a lot of friends and just people close to them to the scenario. So even if you feel like you don't have that many people to invite, trust me, my beautiful Aries babies, your wedding is going to be bigger than you expected. And I can see here within a dream, a beautiful dream, that it's going to be the type of wedding that you've seen in movies. It's going to be the type of marriage that just seems too good to be true. And in dreaming a beautiful dream, you're definitely going to find that you've underestimated just how beautiful your marriage can be and your entire scenario being married and the person with whom you're going to have this fresh beginning with. So all of my beautiful Aries babies, I hope that you enjoyed this reading and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section what hit home the most for you. Leave a little fire emoji down there to let me and others know that you were here. Thank you for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Taurus babies, and welcome to the second and even more personalized part of your prediction, where we'll figure out exactly who you'll end up marrying. So lean back, relax, and enjoy so we can figure out more details about your future spouse. We've got the tiger, the hummingbird, as well as the oyster. So I can see that the person who you'll end up marrying is someone who is definitely very mysterious. We've got that within the tiger and the oyster. They've got a hard exterior and a very soft inner shell. So they are a softie when you know them, but definitely seem a lot more intimidating on the outside to other people. The hummingbird shows me that the person who you'll end up marrying is a really fun, loving type of person, and they're very quick when it comes to finding ways to overcome obstacles, problems, and challenges. The nightingale is the outspoken part of them that comes out. So while they may seem very closed off and mysterious to other people, for you, my beautiful Taurus babies, the person who you'll end up marrying is very outspoken, and they want that to be the fundamental characteristic, and they want the marriage to be transparent and for both you and them to be able to vocalize what you need from one another. The panther shows me that they're also unafraid to bring out the claws if they need to. They're the type of person who will speak up for themselves as well as others, especially others who are less fortunate, and they're most likely also involved in a lot of philanthropic projects. Let's move further into your reading though. We've got Vesta. We've got Aquarius as well as the third house. So it seems as though your person's third house is in Aquarius. I also see Vesta kind of having this connection to Aquarius. I want you to know here that this shows that your person is a very communicative type of soul. They like to collaborate with other people. They're most likely someone who works in a field of communicating with others, speaking to individuals. They could be a therapist, for example, a doctor, overall a salesperson, or someone who is an entrepreneur who works with designing apps and ways that people can communicate with one another and share their experiences. Your person is definitely very outgoing when it comes to sharing their story, and when it comes to their initials, we've got O as well as R. So all of my beautiful Taurus babies, we'll just add a few more little details into your reading so you can truly figure out who you'll end up marrying. We've got the Queen of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. I can see here within the Queen of Pentacles that the person you'll end up marrying is very responsible, more responsible than you even, and they're the type of person who is also quite mature. They make sound financial decisions, and I see here within the Five of Wands that they're the type of person who rejects anything that does not promote a peaceful existence. So they don't like to argue, they don't like to fight. They're the type of person who protects what gives them peace and brings them happiness at all costs. And overall, they are the type of person with whom you can talk to about absolutely everything. So all my beautiful Taurus babies, this is the second part to your prediction that I received for you. Leave a little tiger emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you are in fact a Taurus baby, and this is the second part to your prediction that you tuned into. Thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Geminis, and welcome to the second and even more personalized portion of this video where we figure out who you'll end up marrying. So lean back, relax, and enjoy the second portion of your prediction. We have one card that popped right out of the pile, which is the square that speaks of some tension being here. We also have Juno as well as the 12th house. So I can see here for the 12th house, your square, semi-square, as well as Juno, that we've got a partnership that is filled with introspection, and where sometimes there can be some tension when you don't feel heard by the person who you'll end up marrying. I also see here within the 12th house that you share a lot of emotional depth with this person that you haven't experienced with anyone else in the past. And within Ceres as well as the first house, I can see here that the person you'll end up marrying is someone who is very nurturing and also wants you to look your best. So don't be surprised if they surprise you with gifts such as clothing, such as a little spa day so you can go and relax, such as being able to go out for dinner and show you off. Those are the types of things that your person likes to do, my beautiful Gemini babies. And I can see here within Juno that you're meant to be in an intimate partnership that is filled with caring for one another vocally. So vocalizing what you need, being very open about the things that you desire, also maybe some fantasies that you may share or have. And I see here within the Four of Cups that they're the type of person who does not like to be alone. So the person you'll end up marrying wants to spend every second with you, well, as much time as they possibly can. And that's where I see here within the square that there can be some tension, especially when you crave alone time. But I guess these are like good problems to have, right? No marriage is perfect. The Nine of Wands shows me just that when it comes to hanging out with one another, you sometimes crave a bit more alone time than the person who you'll end up marrying. And that can make you feel a little tense, but for the most part, you really enjoy spending time with them. The Three of Cups shows me here that going out, partying, having a good time, celebrating one another's accomplishments, as well as having a great connection to friends and family is how your marriage is going to end up being. And it's just overall a marriage in which you share a lot of great memories of having fun and going out with one another. You both like to socialize at least to a certain extent. And the Three of Cups shows me that your open-mindedness is something that makes you seem like a quote-unquote power couple to others. I really dislike that expression, but you get the picture, all my beautiful Gemini babies. Next up, we've got the power of attraction. The person you'll end up marrying is a highly attractive person, not just to you, but to other people as well. So when you show others pictures of your partner, your future spouse, they're definitely going to give you the little, oh wow, this person's really attractive. And I can see within what is already with you that their energy is in a sense already with you, and the person you'll end up marrying is someone who you look at and you think to yourself, wow, I have really known you for lifetimes. This is a connection that is just meant to be, and that they've always somehow been with you. They may have not physically been with you, you may have not met them yet in a earthly way, but energetically you feel as though this is not necessarily a missing part, but a part that you were always meant to have in your life, a part that kind of completes you without you being incomplete without them, but someone who complements you beautifully. Let's add a few more details into your reading, such as letters within their name. We've got W as well as L for you, my beautiful Gemini babies. So I'll put that right here on the Four of Cups for you. And furthermore, let's also figure out during which month of the year that you're going to get married to this person. We've got November. Okay, so maybe you are just fond of this time, or there's a very specific date that you desire, such as 11/11. Furthermore, November is overall a very meaningful month for your person and your marriage, hence why you're most likely going to be celebrating your anniversary during the month of November. So all my beautiful Gemini babies, this is the second portion to your reading that I received for you. I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know below in the comment section by leaving a little bubble tea emoji down there for me and others to see, and to represent you watching till the end of your prediction and being a Gemini baby. Thank you so much for being here and spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my fellow Cancerians, and welcome to the second and even more personalized portion of your who you'll end up marrying prediction and horoscope. Let's move straight into it. We've got Juno. So I see that the person with whom you'll end up with is going to feel like a partner that you were meant to be with, who you've known for lifetimes. And I can see here that you are also in this soulmate connection with this person that others may not understand, but you have so many inside jokes with the person you'll end up marrying. We've got the second house, which shows me here that you'll not only be partners in love, but also partners in business. You're going to be on the same wavelength with this person when it comes to resources, money, investments, and just overall how you spend your time and how you can remain as healthy as possible, both physically as well as mentally. The Cancer shows me that this is meant to be your group, my beautiful Cancerians, and this person really gets you. That's also why your sign is showing up within this reading, because they are all about those Cancer vibes of being nurturing, caring, wearing your emotions on your sleeves, but at the same time not being the type of person who wants to get played with or have their feelings hurt. So they're all about you being their Cancerian queen or king. I see that within the Queen of Cups. The person who you'll end up marrying is infatuated by you, and they're the type of person who wants to know everything about your story, where you came from, where you grew up, and how you became the person that you are today. And the Three of Swords shows me that the person you'll end up marrying has gone through quite a bit of heartbreak and heartache, and in order to avoid that, they definitely are putting in a lot of work into ensuring that you're on the same wavelength with important things within your marriage, such as finances, and that's why they want to understand you and why you are the way that you are through and through. I see here within the Lovers that the one you'll end up marrying is a really respectful person who wants to be in a marriage that is mutually beneficial. They're not in this marriage just in order to always have someone kind of on the back burner whom they can be with whenever it suits them, but kind of stray in between. They're not that person at all, my beautiful Cancerians, your person who you'll end up marrying is someone who understands you, someone with whom you'll have a beautiful, passionate connection, and someone who you find irresistible, which is really important within a marriage. I mean, having sensual chemistry is something that we can't underestimate the power of. Let's move further into your reading though. We've got bring it into form. The person you'll end up marrying loves to work out. They love to be physically active. They're the type of person who will get up at like 5 a.m. and go for a run and just overall keep themselves really fit, ensure that they're eating lots of healthy foods, and they like to stay up to date on not necessarily the latest diet trends, but just what's going on scientifically speaking when it comes to physical health. In the world, not of the world, shows me that they've got their priorities in check, and they're a very realistic type of person. They're sometimes maybe even a little bit too realistic or too mundane, which is where you bring a lot of spice and creativity and imagination into the marriage. Furthermore, we've got faith in the process. So they have been at their knees begging at a point in their life when they were at their lowest, and they found that what really helped them was faith, you know, whether that is believing that there's something out there that is greater than yourself, or actually believing in a certain type of religion or concept. Oh, we have another card that popped out of the pile. They're a very open-minded person, but they've also discovered what works for them. And in Dream a Beautiful Dream, understand that the person who you'll end up marrying is someone who is now living their dream life, who has been able to accomplish all of the things that they're so proud of, not because of luck or through inheritance, but because they had faith in the fact that what was meant to be theirs would always be theirs. And for all of my beautiful fellow Cancerians, I want to remind you of the fact here that this is the type of person who simply wants to be loved and who can't wait to get married. So if you're in a situationship or relationship with someone who seems to not be able to make up their mind about whether they want to be with you or not, that's not who you'll end up marrying, my fellow Cancerians. As I can see here, that partnership, intimacy, being very honest and real with one another, as well as spending lots of time together, is the most important thing for the person who you'll end up marrying. Let's also add some of their initials into your reading, shall we? We've got M as well as E for you, being quite important letters within their name, and I'll just add that right here into your reading. Them really understanding you and your Cancer ways is a helpful part of the relationship, and I can also see here that they most likely have got Cancer within their second house when it comes to their birth chart, and also lots of water sign energy within their birth chart, which makes you very relatable and understandable, even though their sun sign is most likely in a different sign. So all my beautiful Cancerians, this is the second and even more personalized part of your prediction that I received for you. Make sure you leave a little crab emoji down below in the comment section to represent the Cancerian fam and to let me and others know that you made it to the end of your reading. Thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello all my beautiful Leo babies, and welcome to the second and even more personalized part of your prediction about who you'll end up marrying. So let's get straight into your reading so we can figure out all of the details. We've got Juno, we've got the second house, as well as the trine sextile. So one thing that I can see here is that your partnership is going to be one of shared resources. So think putting all your money together into a mutual savings account and fund, being on the same wavelength when it comes to money, finances, all things in the earthly realms, but also health. So you and the person you'll end up marrying share the same diet and the same philosophies about mental health, as well well as physical health and well-being. And I do see here within the trine sextile that you help each other out in many different ways. So you may be really great with numbers and your partner may be really great with planning ahead. So you may be the accountant or the one who creates budgets, and the person who you'll end up marrying is the one who executes the budget and maybe plans ahead in order to make sure that you have purchased food in advance, which can then be cheaper. You're maybe purchasing flights or booking vacations way ahead without any procrastination in order to save as much money as possible. Next up, we've got the solar calm. So in the solar calm, my beautiful Leo babies, I can see here that an important part of who you're going to marry is that they're always super clear about what they want, what they need, and they express themselves in a way that you never need to second guess whether they're actually butthurt or whether they're actually kind of stewing and secretly mad at you. They always let you know exactly how they're feeling and what you're dealing with. Mercury shows me here that they are not only a very direct person, but also someone who is fond of sending you messages in the form of writing you letters. They're very fond of communicating with you through text. They're maybe not the big calling type of person, but I see that the one who you'll end up marrying is someone who's really conscious about health and will often try to communicate with you about how you can stay as healthy as you possibly can be. And they're definitely someone who is a good planner, and they aren't afraid to let you know what role that you play in, say, a dinner party, a wedding, whatever the planning may be about. They're definitely the one who takes the lead on that. I can see here with the power of attraction that the one who you'll end up marrying is the person who you feel most attracted to physically. So there may be a love triangle situation before you end up settling with this person, and I can see in the power of attraction that one thing that's really clear is that you both find each other physically really, really attractive, and that's what drew you in first. And then later on, as we have in Follow Your Own Rhythm, you understood here that you found someone who doesn't just turn you on physically or on a surface level, but the one who you'll end up marrying is actually someone who completely honors your body as well as your rhythm. So they'll never try to push you to be intimate with them when you're not in the mood to be intimate. They're never going to be that person that makes you feel bad for maybe just wanting to take time to yourself. They honor your personal rhythm and cycle. Next up, we've got the big, bold vision. The one you'll end up marrying is the person who makes you feel safe with your dreams. And I'm talking about your biggest, boldest dreams. They are a risk taker. They're someone who loves to have fun, and they will never ever laugh at you for expressing your dreams to them, no matter how big or quote unquote unrealistic some of your dreams may seem, or some people may have told you that your dreams are. The person who you'll end up marrying is your number one fan, your number one supporter, and they definitely see the big, bold vision of your future with you. They're not someone who stands on the sideline. They want to be an active part in making your dreams become a reality. In the Temperance card, I can see that they have had some sort of struggles in the past where they found it hard to contain themselves. So for example, an eating disorder, it could be depression. They may have also struggled to say no when out and about with friends and drinking alcoholic beverages. Just overall in the Temperance card, the person who you'll end up marrying is someone who has really calmed down as a person. They definitely have had a way wilder side before they met you and before you tied the knot with them. But moving forward, they definitely want to keep a balance between fun as well as being serious. The Two of Wands shows me here that they are of two different worlds. So the person you'll end up marrying may be a mixed race person of two different ethnic backgrounds. They may be for example, part Italian, part Chinese. They may be part Mexican, part American. I mean, there are so many different mixes that are possible, but do know here in the Two of Wands that they come from two different worlds. These worlds could also mean two different religions. So it doesn't just have to mean two different heritages and two different cultures. It could also be two different religions, right? Like their mother's side being Christian and their dad's side being Jewish, something like that. Just know that they are a mix of a human being, which is something that allows them to be really compassionate and open-minded, because they never felt as though they had to choose just one side. The Queen of Wands shows me here that they have strong fire sign energy, just like you, my beautiful Leo babies. They have this Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius type of energy, but nonetheless, the Queen of Wands shows me that they're not just like a boisterous type of person who is impulsive and super pushy or all over the place. They also have the ability to stop and take a moment and just listen to your needs and the things that you desire. The Four of Swords here shows me that they're feeling kind of lonely right now. The person who you'll end up marrying is single at this point in time, my beautiful Leo babies, and they're pretty much ready for a real relationship. They're ready to get together with you. Now it's all about finding them, and it's all about you being ready, because they are definitely at a point where they've cut ties with exes, where they know who they are, and they're ready to partner up with you, share resources, and uplift one another in a marriage that is healthy and that will have a prosperous future. So all my beautiful Leo babies, this is a reading that I received for you. I hope that you enjoyed it and found it insightful. Make sure that you leave a little sunflower emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here, that you're a Leo baby. Thank you for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Virgo babies, and welcome to the second and even more personalized part of your who you'll end up marrying prediction. So let's move straight into it, shall we? We've got the Sun. Oh, that's a good one. We've got the Judgment card. Let's see what else we've got, as well as the Fool. So these are all major arcana cards. I want you to know here within the Fool that the person who you'll end up marrying is someone that you have yet to meet, my beautiful Virgo babies. And I see here in the Sun that they will immediately illuminate your life. So you will already know that this is the right one for you from the moment you meet them. They're fun, they're witty, they're easygoing. They're, quite frankly speaking, a lot more chill than you are, and a lot less kind of nervous, if you will, or modest and shy than you are, my beautiful Virgo babies. And that's something that you really like. That's something that I see within the Judgment card, brings balance and allows you to feel as though they complement you in a beautiful way. Next up, we've got the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands here shows me that right now the person you'll end up marrying is going through a bit of a tough time in their life. They are being put in an awkward situation at work, so they may quit work at the current place they're at and just overall move to a completely different town, city, or country. Whereas the Four of Coins shows me that they're focused on saving up money for the future, and that's another reason why things are awkward, because they don't feel as though they're being paid in an appropriate manner. They feel as though they're being undervalued, and that's something that I see here in the Four of Coins goes against their beliefs, because of course they want to work in a field where they feel as though they're being honored for all of the blood, sweat, and tears that they're putting into their projects. I see here within the peaceful passageway that the person you'll end up marrying is someone who will always choose serenity over arguing, over getting into any type of altercation, verbal or physical. The peaceful passageway shows me that if they do end up quitting their job or moving to a different place, they're doing so peacefully and just to honor their self-worth, really. The Priestess of Purity shows me that they're a super real, honest, pure person. They could never lie to you. They're very loyal. And the person you'll end up marrying is someone who will also tell you their life story in great detail and allow you to understand the mistakes they've made as well as the ways in which they have grown. They have nothing to hide. Next up, we've got the Sea Goddess of Self-Mastery. They definitely embody someone who has taken the time to do the work. They maybe already go to therapy or they've been going to therapy for a while, all my beautiful Virgo babies. And they're the type of person who is emotionally available and who has been working on all of their faults, all of the things that they find difficult in themselves in order to prepare themselves for marriage and to be ready for a committed relationship. I see here within progressions that it's going to be a wild ride. Your marriage is going to be filled with different types of ups and downs, but overall you always know that intentions are pure. Whether you're arguing with the person you'll end up marrying or you're in a good place, you always know that at the end of the day you want the best for one another. Let's add some initials to your reading, all of my beautiful Virgos. So we've got Y as well as P as the distinct letters in your person's name. And these letters are definitely not all that common, so do use these as a little point of reference for who you'll end up marrying. Let's move further into your reading. We've got the 9th house. So their 9th house is somehow triggered when they meet you. That is the house of exploration, of adventure, travel. So you're most likely going to end up marrying someone with whom you're going to travel a lot and see the world with. Different cultures, different types of countries. I see here within midheaven that you're able to kind of have the best time of your life with this person. So the person you'll end up marrying will experience your years of being the healthiest, funnest, and just most easygoing version of who you are. Not that all life isn't beautiful and isn't worth celebrating, but there are definitely some years in your life that will stand out as your favorites or the ones that were super memorable, and you're going to spend that in the state of being married and being with someone who wants to have all of these beautiful new experiences with you. Next up, we've got opposition. So I do see here that the person you'll end up marrying is someone with whom the only kind of opposition or confrontation you'll have is about where to go to next, where to travel to next, what hotel to stay in, what restaurant to visit, what to have for dinner. As we did have the peaceful passageway, there is always a really peaceful, cool way for you to resolve any disagreements or misunderstandings with the person who you'll end up marrying. So while there is some fun, playful opposition, it's nothing serious. And the person who you're meant to end up marrying is someone who has definitely a bit of a stubborn streak, but not in a way that it is destructive, in a way that it's fun and kind of challenging. So all of my beautiful Virgo babies, this is the second part of the reading that I've received for you. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section by leaving a little cloud emoji in the comment section to let me and others know that you are a Virgo baby and to represent your zodiac sign. Thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Libras of the world, and welcome to the second and even more personalized part of your prediction about who you'll end up marrying. So I'm going to move straight into the reading. All you need to do is lean back, relax, and enjoy your prediction. We've got the Sun, we've got Libra, as well as Gemini. So all my beautiful Libras, you're definitely represented within your reading. That's one thing that we have here. And you're definitely the type of sign that is diplomatic, charming, very romantic and easygoing, as well as fun. The Gemini is someone who is communicative, who is quick, witty, and intelligent. So this is a fellow air sign that you really click with. Furthermore, the Gemini is also hardworking, which allows for you both to strive for a life together that you feel proud of, that makes makes you both feel as though, yes, we've accomplished something that not many others can speak of. Next up, we've got the Queen of Swords. Again, the suit of swords represents air sign energy. We've got so much of this here, not just with yourself, my beautiful Libra baby, but also with the person whom you're meant to be with. So don't feel as though Queen of Swords has to be representative of a queen, meaning a female. This is just the type of energy that they embody. And the Queen of Swords, in contrast to the King of Swords, is someone who is direct, honest, open, and very real with you, but at the same time also knows when you just need a shoulder to cry on and when you just need someone to talk to. So the Queen of Swords is definitely someone who is very tactful and who understands when to be real and when to just be a support system. The Ace of Coins shows me here that the person you'll end up marrying is someone who's just going to switch their job when you marry them, when you are with them in the early stages of your relationship. So they're going to finally feel compelled or pushed to do something that they really love. And you most likely play a big role when it comes to this, all of my beautiful Libra babies. You're definitely pushing them to live a life that they've always wanted to live. When it comes to initials, we've got B as well as D. I'll put that right over here with the Queen of Swords. And furthermore, in case I didn't mention this specifically, the Sun is one of the best cards within the tarot and also within oracle decks, as it shows warmth, it shows a life force, it shows radiance, positivity, and just overall prana that's here between you and the person who you'll end up marrying. So we've got Pandora's gift, we've got inspiration, as well as inner trust. So I can see that the person you'll end up marrying just constantly surprises you with new things. So they'll tell you their entire life story, or what you believe to be their entire life story, and they are a Gemini, right? So they're really quick and witty and intellectually on a high level. And then you feel as though you know everything. And all of a sudden they tell you that, well, actually they climbed Everest this one time, or actually this one time they sailed around the globe, or actually this one time they started their own company and then sold it to someone for a huge profit. So in Pandora's gift, this person is always very honest and upfront, but they constantly have these surprises that are positive surprises, not negative ones, where you're just like, wow, how could you not tell me that? And because this relationship just feels so natural, I see within inner trust, and they have not ever had the motive behind not telling you something of lying or hiding something from you. Sometimes certain things slip their mind that they think is just not that important, or these things just aren't that interesting, and all of a sudden they come out and you're like, wow, that is really inspiring, and that's actually something you didn't know. And that just makes you once again look at the person who you'll end up marrying thinking, I am the luckiest person on this planet, because the person I've married is someone who is full of so many beautiful surprises and is just capable of so much. Next up, we've got the Crystal Cave. So the Crystal Cave shows me here that compared to other people, trust is the most important thing, and trust is something that you have. And by compared to other people, I mean compared to what you had with certain people. You fully trust this person. You literally would trust them with your life, all of my beautiful Libras, and that's something that can't be bought. As I see here within the Raven Spirit, that you know that truth is always there with this person. If you ask for it, they will never keep anything from you. Even though there are some stories that they forget about, like for example, that they have a boating license, or that they have a black belt in karate or something like that, they will never keep anything from you that would make you feel suspicious. And I can definitely see here within the Raven Spirit that the person you'll end up marrying is someone who tells you the truth about life in a way you've never seen it before, such as explaining to you that maybe the reason why certain people have not reached out to you is because they're jealous of what you've been able to accomplish, or maybe the reason why you're not feeling your job is because really it's run its course and you got to do something else. So the person you'll end up marrying is someone who is quick to act. They're someone who thinks ahead and will always tell you in a really honest but still kind, empathetic way what they think and what they feel like you could do next in order to level up. So all of my beautiful Libra babies, this is the second part to your prediction that I've received for you. I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Make sure you let me know down below in the comment section. Make sure you leave a little diamond emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you are in fact a Libra baby and that you made it to this point of your prediction. Thank you for being here, and I'll speak to you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all my beautiful Scorpio babies, and welcome to the zodiac portion of your who you'll end up marrying prediction. Let's move into it. Lean back, relax, and enjoy the second, even more personalized part of your reading. So first up, we've got the Four of Cups, we've got the Five of Swords, as well as the Six of Swords. So I can see here within the Four of Cups that the person who you'll end up marrying is definitely someone who has been through times where they felt really lonely. And I see here in the Five of Swords that your person is someone who would rather be alone than be in a relationship with someone who is not trustworthy. I do also see here within the Six of Swords that the people who mean a lot to them, they keep really close to home, and everybody else is kind of at an arm's length and at a good distance. So the person who you will end up marrying, my beautiful Scorpio babies, is definitely someone who doesn't just give their trust to anyone. Next up, we've got the first house. The first house here shows me that to them, appearances are important. They like a neat, clean, and elegant aesthetic, and they're the type of person who overall likes to ensure that everything is kept in order. In the sixth house, I can see that they know that through the discipline and ensuring that they take care of their surroundings and their belongings, that is what sustainability is to them. They feel as though when everything is chaotic or they give love and trust to too many people, that at the end of the day, that's going to do a disservice not only to them, but also to people around them. Next up, we've got the trine sextile. I can see here that the person who you'll end up marrying is someone who works closely together with other people when it comes to communication. So think of the person who you'll end up marrying being someone who works in marketing, for example, where they communicate a product to the consumer, and I can see here that they always want to create relationships that are mutually beneficial. If there's no reciprocity, then your person is going out of the situation. Next up, we've got the earth spirit. The earth spirit shows me that the person who you'll end up marrying is someone who is really stable, especially in the earthly realm. So think to yourself, finances, health, also their emotional and mental well-being. I can see here that they're a very grounded type of person, and overall they are reliable. They're someone who you can lean on no matter what. In the wood nymph, I can see that furthermore they appreciate beauty in all things, my beautiful Scorpios. This kind of does nod to your person being an earth sign, being someone who is, for example, a Taurus who is ruled by Venus. That is what I see in the wood nymph as well as the earth spirit. And overall, your person is definitely someone who is very connected to the earth and also loves things that are naturally beautiful. They don't like things that are too artificial. So they like natural substances as well as natural materials like wood, stone, and so on. Next up, we've got the rabbit. The rabbit is a symbol of good fortune as well as plenty. I can see here within the earth spirit as well as the rabbit, all my beautiful Scorpios, that your person has a lot of financial means to lead a life that is pretty chill and relaxing. And I also do see in the earth spirit and the rabbit that makes them want to grow their family and add to their family. Next up, we've got the lizard. So all my beautiful Scorpio babies, I do see here that the person who you'll end up marrying is kind of going to go with the flow when it comes to decision making. So just as the lizard is a cold-blooded animal and kind of regulates its bodily temperature based on its environment, I see that your person does the same in the relationship, but rather than the person who you'll end up marrying regulating according to the temperature outside, they're regulating their thoughts and feelings based on what you want. So the person you'll end up marrying is definitely someone who goes with your flow and goes with whatever it is that you say. I see here within the cheetah that they're very quick to react and very quick to ensure that you guys are on the same wavelength, and the person who you'll end up marrying again is someone who's elegant but very quick to judge whether a situation is working out or not, as I see here within the tarantula that they have a side to them that only comes out very sparingly, very rarely. So the person who you'll end up marrying can definitely shock you in ways that you didn't expect by, for example, having fun costumes, being able to dress up in a way that you never thought that they would if you're going to a concert or some sort of costume party. But on a day-to-day basis, they are a very elegant person who doesn't stand out from the crowd too much, and they definitely want to assimilate to your needs and put your needs first. They like to go with your decision making rather than being the main decision maker. So all of my beautiful Scorpio babies, this is the second part of your prediction that I've received for you. Make sure you leave a little scorpion emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end of the second portion of your reading. Thank you so much for being here and spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies, and welcome to the second and even more personalized part of your prediction about who you'll end up marrying. So let's get into your reading, shall we? We've got the defend to the end, the worthwhile. We've got she feels, she knows, as well as beyond the mind, the heart beats. I can definitely see here with defend to the end, the worthwhile, that the person who you'll end up marrying is not only highly protective, but they will do anything in their power to defend you in front of friends or family that may be skeptical. As a Sagittarius baby, you are pretty optimistic and also freedom loving because you have such a great sense of humor. It's usually not an issue for you to make friends or for you to make a good impression, but with the odd person that just simply does not like you or is kind of jealous about who you'll marry, your partner is definitely going to step in and protect you. I see here within she feels, she knows that the person who you'll end up marrying is someone who intuitively knows what you need and intuitively knows exactly how they can make you happy. We also have that here within beyond the mind, the heart beats, where you don't necessarily have to communicate or have any rational explanation as to why you maybe need a hug right now or why you need to just spend a night watching Netflix and eating ice cream. Your person's got you, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies, and you don't need to explain a thing to them. They absolutely know what you need before you even know what you need. Next up, we've got the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands here shows me that the person you'll end up marrying is someone who is quick to take action on these things. So if they, for example, notice that you seem kind of ill or you seem burnt out, they're going to take action very quickly. They're not going to be the type of person who waits for you to speak up or speak out. They're not the type of person who will continue to watch you disintegrate. They will very quickly make sure that they do something to put you in a better space. Whereas the Two of Coins shows me here that for them, it's all about balance, be it in the marriage or even with your work-life balance. They feel as though it is definitely their business whether you're leading a balanced life and existence. So the person you'll end up marrying is someone who truly cares, who's truly protective, and will do something if they see that you're kind of drowning or in a difficult situation. The Emperor tells us exactly why, because the Emperor is actually a card that speaks of someone who loves to plan ahead, someone who is protective, someone who takes care of their family and their people. And this is exactly the type of person who you'll end up marrying, all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies. Let's figure out a few more details, shall we? We've got the first house. The first house here shows me that they're pretty intimidating to a lot of people. I see that connected to the Emperor, that they're the type of person who makes others feel uncomfortable, who makes others feel intimidated just because of the fact that their energy is so out there, so potent, and kind of a lot for many people, but not for you. The solar calm shows me that you actually appreciate that they're not like everyone else and that they're willing to take on a leadership role rather than just go with the crowd. So the person who you'll end up marrying is definitely someone who stands out in the sense of being a leader, of being the first one to volunteer to manage a project, to spearhead something. And I see here within Venus that one thing that's very important to the person you'll end up marrying is that they make a change for the better in this world, that they leave this world in a more beautiful condition than they found it in. And Venus is definitely a planet that rules beauty as well as all things that have to do with pleasure. Mars shows me that we've got a great contrast here of wanting things to be beautiful and wanting to express beauty and create beauty and have beauty be a part of their existence, but at the same time the person you'll end up marrying knows that they have to put in the work if they ever want to make a change within this world. Let's add some letters to figure out what types of letters are within their name. So we've got U as well as A. So I'll put that right here for you, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies. So we are now at the end of the second part of your prediction. I hope that you enjoyed these readings and that you found them insightful. Make sure that you leave a little owl emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here, that you received the second portion of your prediction, and that you are in fact a Sagittarius baby. Thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all my beautiful Capricorn babies, and welcome to the second and even more intricate part about your prediction on who you will end up marrying. So let's get straight into it, all my beautiful Capricorn babies. Continue to lean back, relax, and enjoy. We've got Virgo as well as Imum Coeli. So one thing that I can see here within Virgo, first and foremost, is that we definitely have a very clear front runner when it comes to the sign of this person and important placements within their birth chart. I can also definitely see here that part of their birth chart being in Virgo shows that they're rooted, that they're reliable, and that they're the type of person who you can count on whether you're in need or whether you're in good shape. I see here within Chiron that they're also the type of person who has devoted their life to healing and helping others. So think of them working in the medical field or being a counselor of some sort, also devoting time to family members and friends who aren't doing very well. That's the type of person that I see you ending up marrying, and they have a lot of experience when it comes to caring for others. Let's move further into your reading. We've got the Bee Spirit. I can see here within the Bee Spirit that the person you'll end up marrying is going to bring much prosperity into your life. So think financial prosperity, but also prosperity in the sense of having time that they can spend with you. I see here within the Mystic Meadow that the sanctuary that you're building with this person, the home, that is something really important to them. And that's where they want to spend most of their time. They're not the type of person who will just be working all the time. They definitely place a lot of value on time spent with you and quality time. Next up, we've got the Meandering Pathway. So I do see here that the person you'll end up marrying is someone who likes to go with the flow. They don't like to go against the grain. So they're definitely someone who does have some conservative worldviews or some traditions that they like to uphold, be it, for example, celebrating Christmas or some conservative worldviews when it comes to eating at a dinner table and having a certain set of manners. That is definitely something that I see reflected here within the meandering pathway and Virgo, that they simply like to go with a lot of the things that they already know and that they feel has worked for them in the past. Next up, we've got the Seven of Coins, which shows that they have been deceived in the past by a friend or a family member who took money from them, who made them spend a lot of time and then it did not hold up their part of the bargain. And that's where I can see in the Nine of Wands that they walked away, they took their power back, but nevertheless they were really hurt. So the person you'll end up marrying is careful when it comes to finances and how they divvy up finances in their relationship, and they're just overall also kind of scarred when it comes to that. The Six of Cups, however, shows me that you would never guess that this is something that they went through because they know how to party. The person you'll end up marrying loves to host, they love to throw a party, and they love to spend time with friends and family. The Page of Wands here shows me that they have just discovered how fun it can be to throw parties and to spend time with others, and that you're most likely also part of the catalyst as to why they all of a sudden see a lot more fun and joy in spending time with others. And maybe it's because they want to show you off, all my beautiful Capricorn babies. Who knows? Next up, we've got the Phoenix. They were down, but they have risen like a phoenix from the ashes. We spoke about that here in the Seven of Coins and the deceit and someone using your person for their advantage. And I can see within the Deer that they are a gentle soul and they're the type of person who can't take that happening to them once again. So it's important for you that you ensure that you really want to be with this person, my beautiful Capricorn babies, before you get their hopes up, because they're definitely someone who is vulnerable when it comes to love, as they are kind of trusting in a way, and they are definitely the type of person who will share everything that they can with you once they have the impression that you truly care about them and mean it. So all of my beautiful Capricorn babies, this is the reading that I received for you. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section by leaving a tree emoji down there. Thank you for being here and spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my Aquarius babies, and welcome to the second and even more personal part of your prediction about who you'll end up marrying. So let's get into your reading, shall we? So we can garner more details. We've got the snake that popped right out of the pile. In case you missed it, I'll put a little instant replay right here. Then we've got the turtle as well as the elk. So in the snake, I can see that the person who you'll end up marrying is someone who will stay with you forever. The turtle shows me here that slow and steady wins the race, and while you may go through some times of difficulty, it is not unusual for your person to find ways to bring passion and love back into the marriage. The elk shows me that they are a leader. They're the type of person who is not afraid to put themselves out there. So that in connectivity to them wanting to work on your relationship, no matter how bad the situation, no matter how your marriage may get into some difficulty at some point, definitely is a recipe for success in the long run, because a lot of marriages don't make it through rocky roads and bumps. I can see within the wood nymph that they find you so beautiful. The person you'll end up marrying is infatuated by you on an external plane just as much as on an internal plane. You may not see how beautiful you are, all my beautiful Aquarius babies, despite me telling you this many, many times, but do know that the person you'll end up marrying does see you as the most fabulous, beautiful being on this planet. The water spirit shows me here that they are in the works of manifesting their dreams. They definitely have a goal or a vision board. They're the type of person who feels as though the more they speak it into existence, the more it will actually happen. They love manifestation techniques. They find those really powerful. And the person who you'll end up marrying is definitely someone who is really fun. They like to tell jokes, and they're a pretty light-hearted, cool person. As an Aquarius baby, talking about really deep emotions may not always be your favorite thing to do or your forte. So being with someone who can also just kind of keep things light and fun is definitely a character trait that works to your advantage. Next up, we've got the first house. So on an external plane, the person who you'll end up marrying is definitely very good looking themselves, despite them thinking that you are the only good looking one in this marriage and this relationship. I also see here within the 8th house that they are a mysterious person to many. So they're that comedian that's really funny, that's really great to be around, but no one actually knows who they really are on the inside except you, because that is one thing that they definitely shield away from the world, how they truly feel and what's going on within their heart. I see within Chiron that they're still healing from a lot of trauma, a lot of things that they've been through that they've never been able to speak about. And in debilitated, okay, we have the universe speaking really clearly to us. All my beautiful Aquarius babies, you may or may not have seen this card pop out of the pile. I will put a replay in right here so you can see that. But we did talk about trauma and them not being able to ever voice it. That's where I see that this kind of debilitating, deafening silence comes in, and just a sense of feeling unsafe around a lot of people and only trusting very, very few. Next up, we've got Taurus. So the person you'll end up marrying is most likely a Taurus in one of their main placements. Think their sun, their moon, or their rising sign. And last but not least, within the solar comm, I can see that this is someone who will tell you very clearly that they're into you, that they love you, that they want to be with you, and that they see a future with you. Them being a Taurus or having a strong Taurus placement is definitely fully in alignment with this person being with you forever, because when Taurus finds a partner that fits, they usually stay with that person forever. So all of my beautiful Aquarius babies, this is the reading that I received for you. I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know below by leaving a little turtle emoji in the comment section, or tortoise. Thank you so much for being here, for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Pisces babies, and welcome to the second and even more personal part of your who you'll end up marrying prediction. So let's move straight into it. Continue to lean back, relax, and enjoy this highly personalized approach to a pick a card reading. You can't find this anywhere else other than with Vanessa and I, your favorite psychic, of course. We've got Venus, Cancer, as well as the North Node. So the person you'll end up marrying definitely has a Cancer placement within Venus. Overall, strong Cancer placements within their big three. Think their sun, their moon, and their rising. I see within the North Node that this is a type of person who is planning a future with you, a family with you, and they want to fully immerse themselves in that experience. The person who you'll end up marrying is someone who is very family oriented and definitely very you-centric. Next up, we've got the Knight of Swords. In the Knight of Swords, I see that the one you'll end up marrying is also pretty direct, and they have a little bit to learn on when it comes to using the right words and being tactful. They can sometimes hurt your feelings or be a little bit petty, but do know here within the Knight of Swords that it all comes from a fun, loving place, and you can definitely teach them to be a little bit more sensitive when it comes to their terminology. The Eight of Cups shows me that they have left a relationship that wasn't suitable for them because it didn't really honor the fact that family was so important to them, and they maybe wanted to add to their family or start their very own family, and they didn't feel as though that was possible in the past. The Ten of Cups shows me that the person you'll end up marrying is someone with whom you'll have a happy ending. That's what the Ten of Cups stands for, all my beautiful Pisces. And I do want you to know with the Ten of Cups and Venus that this is someone who will forever find you really attractive and forever find the relationship to be full of passion and fun. The Three of Wands here shows me that you'll be collaborating a lot when it comes to travels, when it comes to fun activities. You've got a lot of things in common with the person who you will end up marrying, and you're almost like this Bonnie and Clyde situation. You are partners in crime. The Page of Swords shows me that the person you'll end up marrying is someone who also has air sign placements within some of their chart that have a bit of a milder impact on their personality as well as their character traits. We see that in the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords. In case you didn't know that, my beautiful Pisces babies, the Suit of Swords corresponds to the element of air and entails Geminis, Aquarius babies, as well as Libras. So think Libra, Aquarius, Gemini within their Saturn, a placement such as that. Next up, we've got the Wild Rose Fairy. So there is so much love between you and this person. This is eternal love. This is a type of love that you see within movies, and this is definitely a symbol for the person you'll end up marrying actually truly being in love with you, because a lot of marriages are based on transactional type of love, or are based and rooted within just security or longing for security. And I see within the spirit guardian of autumn that you, as well as the person who you'll end up marrying, are able to fully let go of fears and fully let go of any ideology and simply enjoy the future and the marriage that you have. The North Node is all about planning your future, all about focusing on the future and letting go of things that don't serve you in the future. That's what we have in the Eight of Cups. Next up, we've got the Guardians of the Land. The person you'll end up marrying is someone who is protective over land and nature. So maybe they even have a little garden or just a subscription, a little fund that they donate to that protects land, be it indigenous land, be it rainforest, just some sort of nature. They're definitely very committed when it comes to that. And I see here within the Pegasus that they are the type of person who believes in rebirth. The person you'll end up marrying believes that in order to lead a life that is not only peaceful but also kind of transcends just this human existence, you got to put things out that are intentionally filled with good thoughts, good energy, love, and a vibration of wanting to give back and having gratitude. So the person you'll end up marrying is definitely someone who is very gentle, sensitive, kind. They can benefit from learning more gentle language and not being so direct, but at the end of the day, it's better to be with someone who will tell it to you the way it is than to be with someone who would just sugarcoat everything. And you know, with two water signs within a relationship, things can definitely get a little touchy-feely. So keep that in mind and definitely give them a little bit of wiggle room just as they give you. So all my beautiful Pisces babies, this is the second and even more personalized part of your prediction that I received for you. I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a little cat emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and that you are in fact a Pisces babies and you received the second part of your prediction. Thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions.